and welcome to an introduction to the assessments in Haiku. This is going to be a brief video that will look at some of the different types of assessments that you can create within Haiku, and is meant to serve as a springboard for you all to get your wheels turning. So to get started, you're going to need to go to a Haiku page where you are the teacher, and from there you will go to Activities, and then click on Assessments. This will bring you to the Assessment Center, which looks pretty similar to the Assignment Center. So click on this top left button, click on Add Assessment, and you will be given the choice between the type of assessment that you want to create. You can do an exam or a practice. Exam is more of a summative assessment where you are actively testing the student's knowledge, where a practice assessment is more formative so that you can help them with their learning. So in this case, we'll do an exam. And then at this point, you would title your exam. So let's call this carbon cycle exam, and then you would put a description of the exam, where you might say this exam consists of the following components. And you would tell them this is 10 multiple choice, 5 true false, and so on and so forth. And I also recommend that you lay out your expectations that this is a graded assignment, that they should be doing this individually. Next, you can set up your grading scale. You can do 100 points, 50 points, 20 points, whatever you need to do. We'll just keep it at 100. So in this Organize tab, if you wanted to make this assessment easier to find later on down the road, and where you wanted to filter through assessments and kind of put them to the library, this is the section that you would complete. But let's move on and go to Next. And there are a couple of things that, a couple of settings that you can choose here. So if you want to set it as a time limit, such as if you're doing this in assessment as an assessment where students will complete it at home and you only want them to have 20 minutes or 30 minutes or whatever you decide, you can certainly do that, ranging all the way from 5 minutes to 120 minutes or to a custom time. You can also definitely set the time limit for an in-class assessment, which will limit them to the period that they're working in. And then you can also allow students to retake the exam multiple times. If you just want them to take the exam one time, set it for 1. But if you want to enable retakes, you can set multiple, all the way up to 10. Here you have the option to randomize questions, and you can also randomize the answers for multiple choice questions. You can also set it to a protected or a web-friendly version. Protected essentially means that students cannot easily copy assignment text and that they cannot click on links. If you need them to click on links within the assessment, make sure that you select web-friendly. From here, so you've kind of got the springboard from your exam. Then now you can start to choose your question types. You can add short answer, essay, fill in the blank, all of the options above that are appropriate for the assessment type that you want to handle, or you want this to accomplish. You can also create different sections. So if you wanted like a multiple choice section, a short answer section, so on and so forth, you could definitely do that. If you wanted to organize the sections or rearrange questions, you would go to this button to organize sections, and this section button to organize the questions. And then you can rearrange it as appropriate. Once the assessment is finished, you would press Publish, and then students will be able to access it. Please note that you need to press Publish for students to see it. If you weren't sure if you like the look of your assessment, you could definitely go in and preview it, and you would be able to see roughly what your students are going to see. Finally, when it comes time to taking the assessment, students would go to Activities, then Assessments, and they would create they would take the assessment based on the parameters that you have set. So this has been a brief introduction to assessments in Haiku, and I know this is just the tip of the iceberg, so if you have any additional questions, please contact me and I would be happy to help. Thank you.